Tax Time America has been bringing customers all their credits for more than 15 years. Tax Time America has provided our community with friendly, professional tax preparation and is always up to date on IRS rules and regulations and on the Affordable Care Act. Depend on Tax Time America, an authorized e-file provider, registered tax preparer, and a member of the Associated Tax Professionals. Tax Time America brings experience and ethical practices to you with no out-of-pocket fees, refund anticipation checks within 7 to 14 days. Tax Time America Income Tax Service, located at 103 High Street, across from Max Brown Pharmacy next to Urban Gear. Call 274-8181. Trust the experienced professionals at Tax Time America Income Tax Service to use their experience to get you the maximum refunds, bringing customers all their credits for more than 15 years.
Hi everyone, we'd like to welcome you to Real Talk. We are here in Raider Country and we are here with Coach Hall himself, the man with the plan. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Doing very well. Now, Coach, we want to know a little bit about you, and you definitely have to tell us about the Elite 8 team that you played on, and then we're going to talk about these Mighty Raiders in this season.
All right, I'm Coach Hall. I've been here 9 years. I served as an assistant coach here for 6 years, and then I've been head coach the past 3 years. I played here back in 2002 for Coach Paul Williams. We made it to the Elite 8, which was very fun and entertaining. So I'm back here trying to give something back to these kids, and hopefully we can make a run at it in the postseason.
Absolutely. Now, you're back at your alma mater. How is that for you? I mean, because, you know, you played here. I mean, you know how the game goes, and now here you are, you're coaching.
It's fun. It's exciting. It's something to be proud of because you're able to see the foundation that you laid as a player, and then come back and try to build on top of that foundation as a coach. So it's been fun. It's been exciting, and I've had the opportunity to do it with a great group of kids.
Absolutely. Now tell us what your coaching style is like.
We like to get up and down the court as much as possible. On defense, we try to use our length and use a lot of zone and zone trapping. So we can take advantage of our size and length. We won't always have that size and length, but we've had it for the past 2 or 3 years. And so we like to get up and down the court offensively and get shots off in transition. Defensively, we like to zone and zone trap and take advantage of our length to try to create turnovers to lead to the fast break.
You know, I remember when I played, we always used to hate when we see those tall teams. They were like spaghetti arms out there, you know, and very intimidating. So let's talk about, like, how was the season last year, and how many players did you have coming back to this season, and what things have you worked on to improve on with these boys?
Last year we went 17-9. We missed the state playoffs by 1 game. We had a lot of quality wins last year. Last year we beat Alexander, who was ranked number 2 in the state, who went on to make a deep run. We beat Rutland, who was ranked number 4 in the state, who went on to make a big run. So we didn't accomplish our goal of the state playoffs, but last year's 17-9 team was a big improvement from the previous year, where we had only won 8 games, and the year before that, when I was the assistant, when we had only won 3 ball games.
Oh, yeah.
So this group has come a very long ways. From last year's team, we're actually smaller this year, believe it or not, than we were last year. Last year we graduated a 6'6" Milton Rose, who's playing at East Georgia College now. We graduated one of our best defensive and hustle players, Brandon Hines. We graduated our leading scorer MVP, Tamarie Nelson, and we also lost another player for other reasons. So what's crazy about this team is we've returned a lot of players, but we actually lost a lot. We lost enough good players that it would have turned most teams into a mediocre team instead of a decent team. But these guys have responded to that well. Guys that were key players from our bench last year, like Ramel Mason, has stepped up this year. And what has helped us this year is we're playing the game faster. We're a lot stronger. We're a lot faster than we were last year. And I'm not going to take credit for that. A lot of that is attributed to the strong weightlifting program that we have here. Coach Kagan McClain, Coach Stacy Nobles, those guys run the weight room. And our guys are quicker this year, they're stronger this year, and they're more athletic this year. So that's been able to hide some of those losses that we had from last year's team that went 17-9.
And you know what, Coach, it also shows that you had a lot of depth from last year.
I did have a lot of depth last year. I did.
So it wasn't a shallow team you had, even though you lost a lot.
Yeah.
And these boys, now how do they play together? I mean, you know.
Well, they've been together since 7th grade,
Right.
literally. This group, for the most part, the core, the nucleus of it,
Right.
has been together since 7th grade. So they know where each other's gonna be. They also know what to expect each other. They can get on each other without taking it personal because they love each other.
Right.
These not a group of kids that just practice together. They hang together outside of school, and that makes a difference.
It does make a difference. Now, do you have any that you would say are your team captains, or do you have several leaders on the
I
squad?
have several leaders. I don't even pick captains before the game each night. I go out there at the 3-minute mark and I just beckon for 1 or 2 of them to come because they're all leaders.
Absolutely.
They're all leaders. They play hard. And I always tell them if you do things the right way, good
Right.
things will happen. And they're a product of that. They do things the right way.
Absolutely. And I see you doing a lot of zone. Like what kind of things are you working on tonight with these boys?
We're working on protecting the middle in the 1-2-2 zone. We're working on the weak side guard, dropping weak side so he's in good rebounding position. We're working on boxing out the guy and
Yeah.
not following the ball on the rebound. If you box out the guy, the ball will take care of itself. But if
Absolutely.
you focus on the ball, a more athletic guy will get the ball. So we want to focus on boxing out and just our zone rotation. We got to know our zone rotation like we know our first and last name because that's our bread and butter.
Absolutely. And they're definitely producing. What's your record this season?
Right now we're 12-5. 2 of those losses came when we had to play our JV players against other varsities because we had contracted ball games that we couldn't get out of, and the football team made a deep run in the playoffs.
Real
and
deep.
My entire starting 5, except for 1 player,
Right.
plays football. So we dropped 2 games early that we had to play with the JV, but
Right.
since then we've been 12-3. With those 2 losses, we're 12-5. We're most importantly 4-2 in region.
Absolutely. So you guys are doing a wonderful thing, and it's very obvious that you coach with intensity.
I'm very intense. Everybody can't play for me. That's just the bottom line. I scream, I yell,
Right.
I slam the chairs. The locker room is very entertaining at halftime for me. My guys are mature and they're mentally tough,
Right.
and they can take that, and they know I love them. Everybody can't play for me, though, because everybody can't take that, and I understand that and respect that.
Now, were you very intense when you played as well?
I was. We averaged about 92 points a game. We bust the clock about 13 times when I was a player. We played a very high energy level, give each other high five, jump up and body bump each other half court. We played a very up-tempo, intense style of basketball when I was a player.
Right. And so that's transitioning to the style of way you coach
Yes.
and the work ethic you have
Yes.
with these men.
Yes.
All right.
Very,
Well-
very much so.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to talking to them, and you're doing such great things. We're so proud of you here in the community, and we're so looking forward to what the end of this season holds.
I'm glad to be here in this community. This community has been great to me, and I'm thankful for that.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Coach Hall. We're here with the assistant coach himself, Coach John Hines. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing very well. We're so glad to be here to hang out with you guys tonight, and we definitely want you to tell the people out there a little bit about you, and we'll talk about your role here as the assistant coach.
Okay. My name is John Hines. I've been coaching basketball for 20 years now. I played basketball when I was in high school at Windsor Forest, where I graduated from. I played a little basketball in college at DeVry University. I'm a graduate of Liberty University with a master's degree. And I've been coaching basketball for high school for over 10 years, and I coached 4 years at the college level. And so when I was asked to come over, I was very pleased and happy to bring some of this college basketball experience to the young men here at West Lawrence so that I can teach them a little bit of how to become a better ball player and what it takes to make it to the next level.
Absolutely. Now, you said you played yourself. Now, what position did you play?
I played point guard.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And so then you went and played in college, and then you coached college.
Yes,
How
ma'am.
has that been for you at a collegiate level and then coming to high school and coaching?
Well, it's a fast experience at college. It's more, you have more athletic ability with the young men doing on the floor. But
Right.
at high school, you have to really teach them where you want them to be, how you want them to be, and you have to tell them where they need to be.
Right.
But in college, they know they're on scholarship,
That's right.
so they got to play.
Absolutely, they do. Now, let's talk about what you bring to the table here, of course, coming from the collegiate level, and how do you and Coach Hall work together as a team yourself in coaching these boys?
Oh, it's awesome to work with Coach Hall. With me coming over here, it was a blessing, and just to get in here and work with him, get his ideas and my ideas. We come together and we talk about what he want to do, where he want to take his program. And so I'm here to be a servant to him. So this is what I try to do, is give him everything that I have, my abilities and my coaching strengths, and by looking at the players, I can, well, you know, the balls are going, I can barely talk.
You're good. They hear you.
But by working with the young men, what I bring to them is individual player development.
Right.
And I also give them the opportunity to work on their games, per se, by working out one-on-one. And what that does is, while coach has some of the guys on one end where he's trying to put in offense, I can work on the younger guys to get them up to speed.
Right.
But what we have now, we have a more up-tempo style basketball.
We heard that from the coach,
Right.
from Coach Hall. He was saying it's very up-tempo.
Right.
And, you know, having coached at the collegiate level, and two, when you say you're working with these guys individually, you know what's required to make it to college level.
Yes.
And so that is something very positive that you're bringing to the table, because it's definitely preparing them for a future after high school.
It is. What it is, most likely, what I do is I let them know the insides of the college.
Right.
What it takes to be a college player. It's called, you got to have a work ethic.
Right.
You got to be hard work. You can't skip out on school.
That's right.
Because you're in college. We all went to college. We all want to have fun. But when it comes to being on scholarship, you got to put fun aside.
Oh, yeah.
And like I always say, grades come first.
Absolutely.
It's all about academics. Then you're an athlete.
Absolutely. You know, I remember, transitioning to college and playing. You know, I was used to one practice a day.
Right.
And then when, we would practice early in the morning before classes.
Right.
Had a curfew.
Right.
And had to practice later in the afternoon, and sometimes 3 times a day. And so you're right about when you're talking about they have to have a work ethic now so that can transfer to them in the future.
Oh, yes. And if they don't have that work ethic now, when they go to college, they're going to be sadly mistaken.
It's going to be rough.
It's going to be a big surprise. But once they really touch the floor, and like with us as coaches, we get on to the guys.
Right.
But when you get to college, you on scholarship, it's the intensity go up to another level.
It's a whole different ball game.
That's right. It's
really,
a different story.
It really, really is. And so we're so glad to have you here. We're glad that what you're bringing to the table, how it's really shaping these young men. You guys have a wonderful season so far.
Yeah.
We're certainly looking for great and greater things from you Raiders.
Oh yes, we're trying to make it to that next level. First, we try to take it one game at a time. We're looking to compete for the region championship and go on to the state playoffs, where we can hopefully make a run for Macon Coliseum.
Absolutely. Well, we're all here supporting you.
Appreciate it.
All right, Coach Hines, everyone.
Thank you.
We are here with the head junior varsity coach and the assistant coach for the varsity team, Coach Jeffrey P. Coley Sims himself. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing very well. Now listen, we want to talk about how the junior varsity team is doing this year, and then we want to talk about your role here with the varsity boys. But tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, everybody out there already knows you, right?
Pretty much. I've been around for quite some time.
All right.
I am a retired school teacher and coach, and I was asked to come back and assist West Lawrence High School basketball team.
How's that been for you coming out of retirement?
It's an honor. It's an honor to be called back. You know, it's always better to be asked up than to ask, you know.
Right.
But the JV, we started out pretty slow. I guess because they had to get to know me and I had to get to know my ball players.
Right.
But right now we are on a winning streak. Last 3 games we won, and I'm real pleased with that. And the guys are young, but at the same time they are beginning to develop.
Fantastic. Now, how long have you been coaching altogether? When you tally up all those years?
Basically, in and out of coaching is over 20 years.
Over 20 years. And how long have you been called back out of retirement?
I was retired for 1 year, and they called me back this school year.
Wonderful. And now, so working with the junior varsity team, they're on a winning streak. What things have you been working on to help improve their game?
To improve any game, you need basic fundamental skills. And at this level, make sure the basic fundamental skills are down pat. And then, we teach them to have knowledge of the game. And that way, they can advance in this game, because they will be moving up to varsity next year, and I really want to prepare them for that.
Absolutely, and playing junior varsity and then being able to move up to varsity is such an honor. And two, learning those fundamental skills early are so important, so that when they get to another level, you don't have to backtrack.
Exactly right, exactly right.
Because people sometimes don't realize just how important those fundamentals are.
Well, this is a 4A school. And at 4A school, when you have 1,200 or more students, you can find at least 10 good athletes.
Right.
So you really have to have some good athletes that are ready to compete at this level, because each night you must be ready, because there are some good athletes in this league.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you guys have been playing so well. Let's talk about your role here on the varsity squad. We've been looking at you, and I tell you, it's always great to see you and to see you in action. Tell us what your role is, a part of the coaches team for the Raiders.
I am Coach Hall assistant. And as an assistant, basically what we do is just observe and see what type of adjustments we can make during the game.
Right.
Also, I was once a head coach, so I just have a knack for the game and the flow of the game. So we basically make the adjustment.
And to bring your knowledge, your wealth of knowledge in is definitely an asset to the team and to Coach Hall, because you played old school days too. I mean, and you coaching from back in the day and then bringing that now, you have so much to bring to the table. So it's certainly an asset to have you here.
Exactly right. There's a saying, you got to know old school before you learn the new school.
That's right, absolutely. It was old school first.
Right. And just like, it's a joy to work with these kids, and like old school, the morals and values never change.
Never change.
Never change. It's always going to be old school.
That's right. And and to have you, because you are more seasoned than the other, the coaches,
Don't say that.
When I say that, of course, I know you're old school from Oconee, back in the day.
Right.
But, to have that and to have that kind of balance, it only helps the team and kind of pushes these boys further and further past the envelope, so that they could definitely be contenders, not just here in high school, but to a collegiate level when they graduate.
Okay. You gave me the name, well, you called my name was Picola, but the kids call me old school.
They call you old school.
But it's just a joy to get back in the game that I love so much.
And we're glad to have you here.
Well, I'm glad to be, a part of this. I was part of East Lawrence. I graduated from Dublin.
Right.
So and now I'm at West Lawrence. So I've worn every color.
Every color. What do you bleed on the inside? We'll leave that closed. You've got to give a shout out to your wife.
To my wife?
Yes.
Hi, Vicky. How you doing? And my wife is a great inspiration to me.
She's fabulous.
And
She is.
I'm glad to have her, and I'm gonna keep her.
You keep her. She's a keeper,
Yes, she is.
All right. Well, we appreciate you so much, Coach.
And I appreciate you, and continue to do the great work that you are doing.
We really enjoy it. I mean, I act like a little kid up here sometimes. Have you noticed that?
Well, I act like a kid out here sometimes too. There's a kid always in all of us.
Absolutely. All right, Coach. We thank you so much, Coach Jeffrey P. Coley, Old School Sims.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. All right, we're back. We're here with the point guard himself, Ramel Mason. How are you, Ramel?
Good. How you doing?
Very good. Now, so you the man with the plan, you
Yes,
know.
ma'am.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, and let's get into what's been going on this season with you as the point guard. Tell us about yourself.
I'm the point guard. I do football, track, and basketball.
Is there a sport that you don't do?
No, ma'am. Pretty
No?
much, I do everything.
Now, do you have a main sport, or is basketball your main sport, or would you say football is?
I'd probably say football.
Football. And so as the point guard, you know, how long have you been playing basketball and in this position?
Since I was like 5.
Wow.
Since I was little.
That's pretty cool.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, let's see. Now, what has improved with you from last season into now? We want to ask the players that, because there's always got to be an improvement. You know, you always have to see where the areas that you need to work on to improve on.
My dribbling, defense, and being the leader for the team, now that I'm a senior.
Wow. So all of those things has improved. And so you're playing all these other sports. What about other things that you're involved in? Are you involved in any clubs here at the school?
Whenever I can help. I volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club over the summer.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, how's that experience for you? Because volunteerism is very important, especially at your age.
Kids are crazy. I love them though. They fun to be with.
And you notice, and to see you as a role model, that's extra special for those kids out there.
Yes, ma'am.
And so this season, you guys have been doing great. And so as a leader, you talk about as a leader, what do you do as a leader?
By telling them when they're doing bad, and trying to keep them up when things are going bad.
How do you keep your cool though? How do you keep your cool? Because sometimes things get a little rocky. You know what I mean? How do you keep it cool, man?
Count to 10.
And find your happy place. And find your happy place.
Yes, ma'am.
And so how the season's been going. What are you expecting? What are your goals?
First I want to win a region championship. Play as hard as we can every game, pretty much, and just see how far we can go after that.
Absolutely, absolutely. As a senior now, are you talking about playing a sport in college?
Yes, ma'am.
What are some of your plans?
After I graduate, go to GMC or whichever school offers in my sport, football. Oh, you want to know what I want to do?
Yeah, what do you want to do?
I'm thinking about physical therapy.
Right, okay, but you want to go to college and play a sport?
Yes, ma'am.
And major in physical therapy, so you can still be around the athletes.
Yeah.
Very good. And tell us who your parents are. I want to make sure you give a shout out to them.
Gwen Hall, Elma Wright. That's my mom and my dad.
All right. And of course, your family supporting you. They be out here
Yes,
they
ma'am.
going
Screaming.
crazy in the stands.
Yeah, my uncle, the coach, I can't never catch a break.
Who's your uncle?
OJ Hall.
Oh, Lord, the coach is your uncle.
Yep.
Well, it's more pressure on you then.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Can't go say unc now. Ease up on your nephew, right?
Nah, don't say that.
All right. Well, we wish the best for you, and we're so proud of the work that you're doing, okay?
Thanks. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, we're here with D'Angelo Wilcher. What's up there?
How you doing?
It's like you guys are getting taller and taller.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, D'Angelo, tell us a little bit about you, okay?
Well, I'm starting forward for West Lawrence.
And you're a senior as well,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
I'm a senior as well. Yes, ma'am. I plan on attending college and majoring in pharmacy.
How cool is that? So you're smart too, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of extracurricular activities are you involved in? Are you involved in any clubs here at the school?
No, ma'am.
So you're just focused on basketball, or do you play other sports?
No, ma'am. Just basketball.
How old were you when you first picked up a basketball? Can you remember?
No, I just remember I was in first, second grade.
And you haven't turned back, huh?
No, ma'am.
And so, what are your thoughts on how your team is doing this year?
I'm really proud of my teammates. I just feel like we can do better, as in bashing our opponent and finishing games and starting out games better than what we've been doing.
And now, last year, you guys had a good season last year, but was it a little bit different for you playing?
Yes, ma'am. It's a bigger adjustment because we had lost a couple of players, and now we all trying to learn to share the ball more and just play together as a team.
And you definitely are doing that, because we see the teamwork and we see how you all are talking out there.
Yes, ma'am.
Talking. So you get along pretty good with the other players, huh?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We family.
Do you kind of cut up a lot sometimes?
Yeah, we cut up a lot. That's how we get started before the game. We all got to cut up for the game.
So you all are able to laugh together, and you also are ready to play, able to play and get it done out there on the court together.
Yes, man. We let the fun amp us up.
All right, all right. So what are your plans after graduation?
Just like I said, just finish, go to school, get my education, and hopefully for a successful career.
And your parents, your family?
Yeah, Joanne Wilcher and Otis Wilcher. Yes, ma'am. That's
You
my
know,
mom and dad.
Your mama and daddy. And we know that you all are certainly proud of, and we are certainly proud of everything that you're doing, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we've got Jarrell Quainton here. How are you, Jarrell?
I'm good.
Now talk to us a little bit about you, and let's talk about how this season has been, and we want to talk about what your plans are for after graduation.
We right now we are 10-5 or 11-5, and we're 3-2 in the region.
How have you been playing? When you compare yourself to last year to now, what areas have you improved on?
Turnovers and ball handling. I ain't been having many turnovers, and I averaged more points than I did last year.
How many points a game you average?
15.
15. And what position are you playing?
Shooting guard and small forward.
Shooting guard and small forward. Now, you guys are doing very well this season, and the coach talks about how well you all play together. Have you noticed a difference in that yourself?
Yes, man. We've been spreading the ball around real good. We don't have any selfish players. Sometimes in the past few years, people always complain about how many shots they get to take and all that.
And so now it's a whole different type atmosphere that you all are in. So when you're like not playing basketball, when you're just chilling out, what do you like to do for fun?
I play basketball outside of school too. And sometimes I play video games.
Okay. And you have a lot of family support?
Yes, ma'am,
Tell us
I
who
do.
your family is.
My mama is Cassandra Stevens, and my dad is George Pointon Jr.
And so we know your family is very proud of you. And so you plan on playing basketball after you graduate, or do you?
I plan on playing football.
So football is your sport?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any school in particular you're looking at? Or just looking at you, or is that hush-hush?
The school that I like to looking at me is Western Kentucky right now. That's about the best school I like.
Wonderful, wonderful. We certainly wish you the best in everything that you do, and continue to stay focused.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, son.
Thank
All right, we're here with Dre Kinchin himself. All right, Dre, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm living life.
Share with the people about you.
I'm in 12th grade. Go to West Lawrence High School. Point guard, shooting guard, West Lawrence. And play basketball.
Play basketball. Are there any other sports you play or have been interested in playing?
I played football this year too.
Okay, football too. So how do you keep balance? How do you keep balanced?
Just stay focused, get my mind first on the books, and stay positive.
So books first. Now, have you always been focused? Are you one of those kids that's always been focused?
Always been focused, no trouble.
So we can call your parents and find out if you've always been focused.
Call later, anybody.
Tell us who your family is.
Melissa Kinchin and Dennis Kinchin.
All right. And so, you know, we've been talking to your other teammates, you know, and they're talking about how you all work so well together as a team, you know, and as point guard, shooting guard, you know, and your position is so very important. What do you see from your angle about how you all work together?
It's like we just grew up together ever since middle school. Just always had that bond. And just keep carrying on, getting stronger and stronger.
And what do you do, like when when you're winning, things are good. But what about when those times when things are not so good? How do you keep it together? How do you still encourage your team to keep pressing on? What motivates you to do that? And how do you help your teammate?
My desire to win. I know how good we are, and if I feel like one of my players not playing good, I'm gonna tell him that he's not playing good. I'm gonna pick him up and encourage him the best way I can.
Very good, very good. And so, what kind of future do you see in sports and in college as your academics in the future for you?
Academically, so you want to go to college, and I don't really understand the question.
This is what I'm saying. Like, what do you want to do after high school? Do you want to go to college, and do you want to, what is it that you're wanting to major in, or have you even decided upon that?
Well, I haven't decided upon my major, but I know I want to go to college. Sure.
All right. So, so your family's proud of you, we're proud of you, and you're definitely making things happen here for the Raiders.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Keep doing great things, son.
All right.
All right. Thank you. We're here with Justin Smith, and I feel so vertically challenged. I don't know what to do with myself. How are you up there, Justin?
I'm good.
You know I'm on my tiptoes.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what's cool is, we just found out that we are cousins. His great-grandmother was my aunt, and it's just so cool to know you. Now, I wouldn't say you got your skills from me per se, but it's in the bloodline. Would you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Justin, tell everyone out there about you and tell them about your family.
About me, I don't know what to say. I mean, just blessed right now. And
You are blessed. You are. Now, tell us about what other sports you play, and tell us what you're doing as far as any kind of clubs that you're in.
I'm not in no club. I play football, basketball, and I run track.
What would you consider as your main sport?
I don't have one.
So you're just like all across the board, just enjoying all the sports and putting 100% into each sport.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now tell us who your family is.
My dad is Willie Smith, and my stepmother is Renata Brown, Staff Smith.
And so you're not involved in any clubs. How are you doing with your school? Because we know with your grades, because we know a lot of schools are looking at you, Justin. A lot of them. How are you doing academically?
Oh, I'm doing good. I just got to pull up my math right now.
But you know what you've got to work on and stay focused. Now, tell us about the team here. You all are seniors. So of course, everyone is looking at you all as leaders. What would you say your leadership style is like out here on the court with your teammates?
My teammates more action than words, because we got to put in the effort more than we got to put in the words that we saying out of our mouths.
Absolutely. Now, how many years have you been playing basketball?
4 years.
4 years. And we've been asking all the other players and, of course, talking to the coaches about areas that have improved. What areas could you say you have improved in from last year to where you are right now?
Not much, just working hard.
Still working hard. Now, what is your work ethic like?
Just 100%, everything.
Everything. Now, do you train like outside of the season, or are you playing another sport?
Playing another sport.
And that keeps you going.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So what are your plans after high school? What do you want to do after you graduate?
I'm leaning towards football right now.
Leaning towards football. Any particular schools, or you're just kind of out and open right now?
Seeing my options.
Seeing your options. Very good, cuz. All right. Well, listen, we're so proud of you. We're proud of the work that you're doing, and we're proud of your leadership that we're seeing out here on the court.
Appreciate it. We just got to keep it up.
Got to keep it up. All right. Well, congratulations to you and your team.
Thank you.
Justin, everyone.